Ladies and gentlemen, today we have an insane video to get into because we have some amazing Switch 2 news, some bad Switch 2 news, some just normal updates, and some huge Switch 2 game leaks, multiple of them, and it's all pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. Yeah, this video has so much going on. It's very exciting stuff, and there's so much going on that I actually forgot to mention. We also have Nintendo Direct leaks in this video, so very exciting stuff. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep our amazing communities growing. And just one more thing, we have to talk about today's sponsor, and that is rushbuy.gg. Rushbuy.gg is an amazing website where you can buy in-game currency super cheap for some of your favorite games like Genshin Impact, PUBG, and more. Probably my favorite feature though is Rushbuy also offers gaming gift cards for super discounted prices. And you guys know I love my gaming gift cards. To purchase them, all you need to do is select your gift card, enter your payment information, and then check out. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can find your purchase in your email or on your Rushbuy account. And this website is 100% safe and reliable, so you won't have any unnecessary worries. And if you thought it couldn't get any better, well, then you would be wrong. You can now buy 2 $50 gift cards and get one $10 gift card absolutely free. So make sure you scan this QR code or check out the links in the descriptions. And shout out to rushbuy.gg for sponsoring this video. So this video truly is so crazy that we're gonna start with Nintendo Direct leaks. Usually that's what I would end this video on, but there's just so much exciting news that this is just how we're starting this. Obviously, we're waiting on a Nintendo Direct, right? I'm very curious how this is going to play out because we got that first major Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which really revealed the console and the first lineup of games. Then we got another Nintendo Direct, but there was also some Switch games mixed in. This Nintendo Direct should be about like 80% Switch 2 and then a couple Switch games that were already announced the year previous. And I'm very excited to see, how this is all going to play out. So a couple of days ago, I read a Nintendo Direct rumor from a very credible place, and I just stored that in my mind and went about my day. Today, we have a leak as well as some evidence that might be pointing towards this leak. So this says, French journalist B Fun claims a huge Nintendo Direct is happening on February 10th. There will be no Nintendo Direct in January. However, in February, there will indeed be a huge Nintendo Direct featuring upcoming games for 2026, including the one everyone is waiting for, a new 3D Mario. Now, as crazy as that kind of sounds, this would probably line up with the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in April. Maybe this game comes out right before or right after that. But we have to take all of this with a grain of salt. But it is, it's pretty exciting to hear. Now, the only reason I think this could happen is Nintendo has maintenance scheduled until January 14th for various services. And apparently, this is a ton of maintenance happening on the eShop, with the firmware, just with a bunch of stuff. And we know sometimes this will normally happen right before a Nintendo Direct. Yes, this says until January 14th, so it doesn't mean this is going to happen and then a Nintendo Direct right after. But I just feel like there's a lot of stuff happening in the background getting us ready for this. And obviously we need that new Nintendo Direct anyway, so February isn't like the craziest claim, you know what I mean? So we will see. But I do think a big Nintendo Direct is right around the corner. I do think it's going to have that next 3D Mario game in it. I think we're going to see that next Monolith Soft game as well. Probably, or at least hopefully, some kind of Zelda news. And then just whatever else surprises. I really would like to see some old Nintendo franchises make an appearance again, like Star Fox or F-Zero. So time will tell on this. And then quickly, I want to give you guys my thoughts on the new Joy-Cons. Because I'm not even kidding, I think I got like 15 messages on Instagram, the place you should be following me, asking my opinion. Yeah, I think they're stupid. Like, it's cool on the surface level, but after that, I truly think it's just stupid. You can barely tell there's a difference. The majority of the colors where it actually snaps into the console, and side by side, I've seen pictures, you can barely tell. Like, truly can barely tell. I get it, they want to make sure you're not confusing these with the Switch Joy-Cons in store, at least while the Switch is still being sold for retail. And I understand that. But at the bare minimum, or not the bare minimum because they did the bare minimum, but they could have made the buttons colored, like the D-pad and the face buttons, color those. Color the ZR and ZL buttons, right? Like, I just don't understand why they're doing this. They're $100. which I think is the same price as the Switch 2 Joy-Cons already, so I won't fault them for the price too much. But it just looks stupid. And there's a lot of cool companies out there doing custom Switch 2 Joy-Cons already, so I think Nintendo really dropped the ball on these ones. Now, let's get into an update about a Switch 2 game, or what would have been a Switch 2 game, right? Now, we've seen leaks that this was going to happen, or was in development, or in the process of development, and I still think this could happen eventually, but right now, it's just not looking good. And what I'm talking about is the Switch 2 port for Baldurs Gate 3. Now, this is from Larian Studios, who has a bunch of games already on the Switch 2. Like, they just released the Switch 2 edition of Divinity Original Sin, which is essentially like Baldurs Gate 3 Junior, right? It's the same kind of game, massive, so many options. So you would just think the next logical step is to get Baldurs Gate 3 over to the Switch 2, especially since it runs amazing on the Steam Deck. So this is actually making me question some stuff that I didn't think about until right now. But anyway, here's the update. While Larian would love to bring Baldurs Gate 3 to the Switch 2, their relationship with Hasbro Wizards of the Coast is not healthy. Last year I heard Baldurs Gate 3 for Switch 2 was not happening, but needed more sources to verify. And then here's the actual Larian Studios commenting. We would have loved to, but it wasn't our decision to make. So the question that I just thought about is, how is it on the Steam Deck, but they can't make it for the Switch 2? But then while I was thinking about that question, obviously through PC and Steam, it was there. A couple tweaks and it works on the Steam Deck. So that was a pretty stupid question that I should have never even mentioned. But this is unfortunate. I think this would have did incredibly well on the Switch 2. Maybe in the future, if they have a better relationship with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, they can make that happen. But they're currently working on their biggest and most ambitious game ever. I think it might just be called Divinity this time. And it's supposed to be like 15 times bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. So hopefully that will make an appearance on the Switch 2 if possible. And I truly do think they can make that happen if they want. So yeah, we'll just have to see how this one goes. But this one really does suck to hear that. Now, before we get into two huge Switch 2 game leaks, and one of them is basically confirmed, and we've kind of known about it, for quite a while now, I gotta show you this really cool trailer that I found for Link's Awakening in Japan, for the original Link's Awakening. The Link's Awakening remake is one of my favorite games of all time. It's truly a top 5 Zelda game of all time, but the original game holds up so damn well. Like, I beat the remake, then a year later, I went back and played the original one, and it was just as good, which was so crazy because it was a Game Boy game that just holds up so damn well. So look at this cool commercial they made in Japan for Link's Awakening, the original one, and they made it completely out of puppets. I don't know if I'll get copyrighted for this music. Hopefully I don't. But look at this. It's so cool. It's so goofy. This is why I like real art. It's like, this is stuff that you could never even think about doing, I guess, with AI. Like, sure, AI can make something like that. But when there's real passion and real creativity, you just get goofy stuff like this. And I love it so much. So now we have two massive Switch 2 game leaks. One of them I think is going to show up in that next Nintendo Direct. Or maybe even before that. Now, another one of them, I've said in multiple videos, I have this theory that Nintendo is going to do something else with the ARMS franchise for a couple of reasons. One, I think the game might have got a free Switch 2 upgrade. Maybe. I could be wrong on that. But when Nintendo made the Switch 2, or the Switch 2 came out, and they showed you all the new icons, they made new icons for ARMS. And it's like, why do that if you're not going to continue to support this franchise in the future? Now, I don't know how good ARMS sold. If I can find an exact number, I'll be putting it on the screen right now. But I think the characters are amazing, like truly amazing designs. I think the concept is actually really cool. I just think there were some things they could have did with the game that they didn't do. And I think there's other possibilities for a future game where they just have really cool mechanics that they could work out, or maybe some crossover stuff. Maybe these characters could show up in a Mario Kart. I don't know if they showed up in Smash. I don't think they did, but maybe the next Smash game. But I just think Nintendo has some cool opportunities with the ARMS franchise if they want to continue it. And I've always felt like they are going to do that. Well, now we have an update coming from Nash Weedle, and it says, Leak Express, ARMS 2 might be on the way. I've received information about a Nintendo game in development for Switch 2 with the following details. A game featuring fist-fighting combat, strong online component, comes with improvements in lag, for sound and vibration that enhance the impact sensation. The clues have led me to think of a sequel to the Switch fighting game. What do you think? Yeah, I just think it's something Nintendo will at least try to do one more time. Like, I think there was some potential with ARMS, but I don't think Nintendo did what they were expecting, and I don't think the game was received the way they wanted. But I also don't think it was worth just saying, okay, we tried it, one and done, let's move on to the next thing. Oh yeah, and now that I think about it, I even said when Nintendo put out that game, Wheelchair Basketball, or whatever the hell it's called, on the Switch 2, yeah, I never played it, and I'm not going to play it, but I thought, instead of having like those very boring character models, they should have just used the ARMS characters. Or they could have tied it all into one new game, like ARMS 2, and they have this side game where you play wheelchair basketball or other weird sports, right? They could do a lot of cool sports with the ARMS characters. So I really do hope they go back and at least give this one more attempt. Now, one game I truly cannot wait to play on the Switch 2, and I have a PS5 and I can play it there, and I'd be happy to play it there, but I just love playing handheld so much because it's like, look, I have my Switch 2 right here, pick it up and play. PS5, I gotta go out there, the front room, turn it on, do this, do that, do the third. Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds, but sometimes I just want to be lazy. And I'm talking about Call of Duty on the Switch 2. And we didn't see Call of Duty the entire Switch generation, which I find strange because I kind of gaslighted myself saying, well, you know, it can't work on the Switch 2. How would that be possible? But then I thought about it. It was on the Wii U, and the Switch is more powerful than the Wii U, so it could have worked on the Switch. But I digress because we're on to the Switch 2 generation now. So we've seen the Microsoft versus FTC court case happen, and in that lawsuit, they agreed to bring over Call of Duty to Nintendo consoles, and I believe the PS5 as well, for at least 10 years or the next 10 years. Cool. We know that's going to happen. Then I think it was Jez Corden, I could be wrong on the source, but a very credible source, say like 2 weeks ago, that the port for the Switch 2 is almost done. Again, cool, but where is it? Because I actually think that would have been a fantastic game to launch the Switch 2 with. And I think some people would have bought a Switch 2, not just for Call of Duty, but some people who are on the fence and who are thinking about getting maybe a PC handheld, or it was like, do I get this or do I get a Switch 2? Because I like Nintendo games, but I want to be able to play Call of Duty. If they would have had Call of Duty on the Switch 2 at launch, some people would have been like, you know what, I'll get this and then play whatever other games they have on the Switch 2 as well. But with all the rumors and leaks and evidence pointing towards Call of Duty happening on the Switch 2, sooner than later, it's probably going to happen, and now we have official evidence coming from Call of Duty themselves. So this is the actual code from Call of Duty, and you can see right here multiple times it's saying platform Nintendo, client platform to platform family Nintendo, client platform family to account type. Again, we have Nintendo. So in my opinion, this sets it in stone. It is officially going to happen very, very soon. Again, if there is a Nintendo Direct in February, which is probably going to happen, I think this might be one of the last, if not the last announcements, or the last announcement will probably be 3D Mario if that is going to happen. But then right before that, I could see, I guess Phil Spencer maybe coming out or something like that. Like, hey, it's Phil Spencer, I ruined Xbox, but guess what, guys? Call of Duty's coming to the Switch 2, and it's also coming to other places as well because we don't care about Xbox anymore. Yeah, I don't know why I went on a small Phil Spencer tangent. I just don't really like that guy, but this is cool. I'm very excited for this. The question I have is, what is it going to be? If I had to guess, probably Warzone. Probably. But I would really like to see some actual games as well. My favorite thing to do is play through the campaigns. I would even love for them to port the classic Modern Warfare and Black Ops games. That would be incredible. So time will tell on this, but I think we see an announcement within the next 30 days for this. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So in the comments below, just start a conversation down there. And tomorrow, or actually today, the day you're watching this video, on Instagram, I will be making announcements. I'll be shipping out all these cool Mr. Robot Joe stickers for free. It's, you can't see it, but it's like Mario fighting Link and my logos. Very cool stuff, 100% free. So I'll make that announcement on Instagram. All you have to do is message me if you want some, and I'll ship you some. And then I have a bunch of games to give away, so we'll probably do that as well, and some eShop gift card giveaways happening. So just make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. and consider becoming a channel member, because that really helps this community. And you guys know me, I will see you very soon with some new videos. Peace.